Two of the worst people on the internet decided to link up for a collab. It's Andrew Tate and Bonnie Blue. They sat down for a conversation. Some people are calling it a debate, but I would say most of it was Andrew Tate and Bonnie Blue kind of just agreeing with each other and catching a vibe. I almost feel like they should get married because they are two sides of the same coin. These are two nihilistic, fame-hungry people who made a fortune off of pornography. They have a lot in common, and I think they discovered that in this almost 3-hour-long discussion hosted by Rob Moore. And it was supposed to be them duking it out over their core values, Andrew Tate saying that what Bonnie Blue does is evil, and Bonnie Blue defending herself. And I just didn't see any of that in the clips that were posted, and I wasn't going to torture myself by watching the whole thing uncensored. First off, they posted these promotional photos for the podcast before its release, where you see Bonnie Blue on the floor looking up at Andrew Tate with her tongue out, captioned, "Feminism destroyed modern women." And then Andrew Tate promoted the debate with a highlight reel.
This one here?
Kind of gets across the main message of the whole thing.
Here we go.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
I mean, that'd be a good competition. I think I still...
So do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years.
Girl power.
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid. So Bonnie's just the smartest. She's the Wall Street banker of this whole shit. Okay,
Well,
so do you vote?
No.
Okay, she's perfect. This is the kind of women we need. This is done.
So Bonnie's a hoe.
I don't want to insult Bonnie Blue.
You can't insult me.
I mean, you called her a hoe when I last talked to you.
No, I said she was a whore.
I mean, if you had an 18-year-old son, would you send him to me on his 18th birthday?
No.
So serious. Right, Rob, on your son's 18th birthday, I'll be stood on the driveway with a balloon and a happy birthday card. I'll take his virginity, but I'll take him to a safe, controlled environment. I'm not going to cry rape the next day.
Rob, you should do it.
Okay, would you send your son to Bonnie, age 18, birthday?
I don't need to, but you need to. Like,
Andrew, I do father and son as well.
do you?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Brother and brother?
No,
Bit of double
no way.
penetration?
You're not trans, and I knew you weren't trans. 100%.
Is that because you've had multiple wanks?
No, it's...
Or
You're
is that
not
because
trans.
you left this at my last event? Oh, you don't want to touch?
That was actually a good call on him, because if he grabbed it, that'd have been a horrible look.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you might be thirsty. You want to rinse it for cum?
Bonnie. Rob, the world's fucked. They're all like this.
Okay.
I mean, from what I can tell, Andrew Tate is absolutely smitten with Bonnie Blue. They seem to get along quite nicely. And they agree with each other on a lot of points.
Yeah. Well,
That was the impression I came away with.
His general idea is that she is the end result of what happens when feminism takes such a hold on society.
Okay, well, she's also maybe an end result of a business like one that Andrew Tate ran himself.
Yes.
A cam whoring business.
Mary asked me who's better, Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips, and I said,
Who's more likable?
who's more likable? I said Bonnie Blue because she's better at her job. I appreciate competency even in the most horrendous of circumstances.
I would say Lily Phillips is more likable because she at least appears to have feelings. Bonnie Blue comes off like a total sociopath.
Yeah, that's her job. Her job is to be sociopathic.
Well, okay, that doesn't make her likable, though.
it's
Like in order
uh,
to be likable, you at least need to
It's
have
like when a
feelings.
It's like when a CEO talks about, like, everybody here is a family, and these are our company ethics. I don't want a CEO to talk about company ethics.
Okay,
or
well, Bonnie
being a
Blue
family.
definitely pays lip service to how her business is ethical. I want to show this clip of Andrew Tate explaining why he likes Bonnie Blue.
Okay. If you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of fuck knows who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaluf.
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway, so whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's fucked regardless. So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair. Fair. And this is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I
But
said?
why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, has, you know, sits and complains, makes shitty TikToks about me? Like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going shit. By the looks of it, you live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids with different dads. I don't care. So why should I sit there and think, fuck, I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like, where's your life? Why are you not focusing on yourself? Like, look in the mirror, you're fat, go and do something about it. Your teeth have that much plaque on it. Like, you're fucked. Like, there's no way out for you.
No, but what
Is this a good role model?
No, yes, because no, but what
No,
Bonnie,
yes.
no, what Bonnie's saying is important here, and it's not about what she's saying. It's about the general attitude. Because what I want to make clear, the reason society was run by men for so long is that men have a different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared to suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Well, of course. And also, let's just look at the normal family. You talked about these men who come and see you, right?
Yeah.
But happy wife, happy life is true. And the reason it's true is because if the wife is unhappy, everyone's miserable because she'll make sure of it. But if the man's unhappy, everyone else can be happy. He'll suffer. He'll sit with no sex. He'll go to work every day.
Yeah.
He won't see his friends. He'll be miserable. He'll be depressed. He'll still pay the bills. He'll still pay the taxes. And everyone else gets to be happy. Men are good at suffering. Women are spiteful sufferers. And for that reason, they struggle to do anything. They struggle to suffer themselves for any greater good. Men have always died for a greater good. Men have always said, this is bad for me, but it's good for society. Bonnie just quite correctly, quite pertinently highlighted the fact that she believes in living her life the best way that she wants to live so she is happy. And I agree with you. That's what you should do. That's fine. Because you're a woman. That's how women think. Women don't think I shouldn't do this because I care about society by and large. Women don't think that way. And once you understand that logic, you can extrapolate that out to the fact that women shouldn't be in charge of a country ever, because women are not prepared to take a bullet for a country ever. But would you argue?
Do you have any initial thoughts on that discussion?
I mean, that level of nihilism is always ripe to be kind of dissected and turned into some type of intellectual fodder, because the idea of what they're saying is so depressing that in the format that they're doing here, which is a long form discussion, it denotes breaking down and going to deeper thought on. I thought what he said was, you know, this is what I said that Andrew Tate is good at. He's very good at dissecting and verbalizing his ideas, whether you agree with them or not.
Well, he's good at making a story.
Yes,
out of his idea.
What did I say earlier? I said he's very good at editorializing. He understands what the story behind his idea is and conveying it to you, which is a skill set in and of itself. But that type of nihilism is not good for anyone to endure long term, even if there's some truth in what he said at the end.
I just think it's hypocritical of him to draw this distinction between himself and Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is saying, the world is fucked. I'm going to do whatever I want and whatever makes me feel good and happy in the moment. I don't care about anyone else but myself. And Andrew Tate says, like, oh, that's how you feel because, you know, you're a woman and all women feel that way. Me, however, I'm sacrificing for the good of society.
But did he say me? He's saying men.
Bro has never done anything for society. Yeah. He lives entirely for himself and actually would rather actually be a net negative for society by running a porn business and building his fortune off of the misfortune of others.
But that's what I mean by saying, like,
especially his male audience.
Ability to weave a story around larger concepts separates him from what he's talking about. So he doesn't have to actually engage in any form of self-ownership.
Yeah, never comes back to his own
and
life.
That's a skill set for people who are public speakers, right?
People get so engrossed in his wordsmithing that they're not going to even remember who's saying it.
Yeah.
They're gonna like be so enthralled by the way that he crafts this argument that they forget who is posing it.
Yeah.
And it does fall apart when you look at his personal life and the way he conducts himself. He conducts himself the exact same way that Bonnie Blue has.
But that is only if you're the type of person who looks at something like this. And not everybody does. What I mean is that not everybody looks at the words somebody speaks of and says that it has to come from a person who perfectly embodies it. Is that what it should be? Yes, it should. But in the age we live in now, there's so much media, so much information, so much dumped on you every day via the internet that it's not like you go and look in deeply into every, and I'm not saying like you, the audience. I'm saying the average person, they hear something that sounds enthralling. They hear something that sounds educational or smart, and they don't think about who said it. Like, how many times have you seen a clip from somebody at a TED Talk that sounds smart and you're like, oh, that was kind of clever, but do you go and like research that person to see who they are and whether they actually live the values that they're preaching? We don't live in a world where that matters anymore because it's all about output. It's all about your ability to sell your ideas. It has very little to do with whether you live those ideas or not. You should,
Right.
but that's just not the reality of the world we live in.
Hence, you know,
The success of
Joel
people like this,
Osteen,
Yeah.
perhaps. I want to also go to this second clip of Andrew Tate analyzing why someone like Bonnie Blue exists and what she represents.
Okay.
Basically, the fact that Bonnie Blue exists proves that women as a whole have been societally conditioned into these behaviors, and it doesn't come naturally to them to behave the way Bonnie Blue behaves. Go to about a minute in, actually.
Elena's dad in the chat is actually right. It says most people just watch clips. Yeah, most of this content is designed to be consumed
It's clip
in
farming.
1 to 2 minute clips, not with the larger context.
Logical imperative. It's with 4 or 5 women, and I took care of 4 or 5 women, and I was with all of them, and they were exclusively only with me, and we had children over and over and over again. That's my biological imperative. It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue, traditionally. But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new societal conditioning is convincing women that what they're supposed to do, which is find a man they love and be obsessed with him and get pregnant from him, is the wrong thing to do. Well, then let's all just become sex workers now. But why not?
But you disagree with that feminist program.
I don't have an opinion, Rob, because I have 14 criminal cases. I don't have an opinion. I'm just here. I'm a commentator. I'm just.
That's a really.
Doesn't that mean it's your job to have an opinion?
That's a really interesting dichotomy there. I don't have an opinion. I'm just a commentator. I can't separate those two.
They're not
one of the
separate.
One of the things that I think about all the time is like just by the amount of things that we talk about in a given week, or the stuff that's talked about on IRL, and then you have to go on X and have an opinion there. Is people have takes. I'm consistently impressed by how many people I know with well thought out, interesting takes about a variety of stuff. Most of the time, I hear everything and I'm like, eh. Like, I have to struggle to have an opinion on a whole bunch of stuff unless it really, 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 really interests me. Most of the time. Most things don't. There's very, very few things where I care about it enough, where I want to go deep into depth, think about it, and then develop a nuanced, long-term perspective on it. But his job, and the job of many people in this space, necessitates that they do that, and you don't always have the time to really get as invested. Like, if you're on X, your benefit is to just say whatever comes to your mind first, and then let the chips fall where they may. Maybe the story ends up different. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. But that's not any type of actual intellectual honesty. It's just spewing whatever the first thing that came to your mind was, and your success is dependent on whether or not you're good at it. Has nothing to do with truth or honesty.
His point that he's making isn't the one that you're making, though.
No,
he's saying, I don't have an opinion because I only care about myself, and I care about no one else but myself.
No, I
forever.
understand.
He isn't saying, you know, there are bigger issues to worry about than Bonnie Blue.
Well, he said
No.
there are bigger issues. His issues. His own personal issues.
His issues are paramount. But I want to finish this clip here.
Commentators have opinions.
I don't have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. Women can do whatever they want. Women are fantastic. We live in this great society now where women are girl bosses and better than us, while also are equals at everything, while also everything they do they regret was a man's fault somehow. As Bonnie described, they were tricked into it. So we live in this impossible situation where a man can't possibly win anyway, no matter what opinion he had. But I'm just saying it would be unprofessional and hypocritical of me to sit here and think that Bonnie is doing anything different or anything bad or anything wrong when she does the same thing 99.9% of Western women do anyway.
Okay.
If a man...
Yeah, I think that this is just two people having a nihilism off. Like,
Yeah,
they
that's-
just don't care about anything but themselves. And
I
they
don't-
agree on that, and they kind of formed a strange, unexpected alliance over how self-absorbed and nihilistic they
I mean,
both
not
are.
even unexpected. This is exactly what I expected of something like this.
Not unexpected, but most people, including Andrew Tate's own
Hmm.
fan base, expected this to be a heated debate where Andrew Tate was just going to absolutely drag this woman. But that's not what happened, and I noticed that a lot of Andrew Tate's own supporters were speaking out against his decision to debate Bonnie Blue.
When's Tucker going to talk to Bonnie Blue? That's Bonnie Blue. That's
Never.
what I want to know.
I hope never. Here's one. It's crazy what Andrew Tate is doing. I never imagined that someone like Bonnie Blue, a self-proclaimed prostitute, could have such a strong influence over him. To be honest, I'm really disappointed. Another fan of Andrew Tate said, "This is a social media views win, but a effing community and moral loss. Awful to see this. I followed you for years before you were famous. Utter shit decision on this one. Diabolical, like you need the views on a single video." Another fan said, "I never in my life thought I'd say this, but this is the first Tate L I have seen. Giving her attention to hundreds of thousands of people is shameful. I'm flabbergasted." Another one said, "You're such a LARPer and a liar. Having her with you there is going against everything you have ever said. I guess getting caught on Shane lying got you to this. You're broke."
The same thing was said about Tucker when he did an interview with Andrew Tate.
Not quite.
People held him to the same
Not
standard because it was
quite.
right at the time
No.
when the trafficking charges were coming out. This is, why are you talking to this guy? Why are you laughing with this guy?
I think that you're conflating two different responses because most of the people criticizing Tucker for that were saying you just didn't even do any reading on his case before interviewing him. So you were asking him questions as if you literally didn't know anything. You allowed him to get away with skirting around the truth and omitting facts about the case and the charges. Tucker failed as a journalist in that situation. Andrew Tate, according to his fans who were disappointed in him, is hypocritical for associating with an OnlyFans whore because he often speaks out against these influences in the West. And here he is not only debating her, but actually seeming to agree with her and bolster her points
Early in
this interview.
Early in the response to Tucker was people saying, "Why would you even give airtime to this dude?"
Some people were saying,
So
like, never speak to this
it's-
person ever.
And the
but, like,
problem is what they don't understand is that when you work in the space and you live and die by views and internet attention, that they'll have a discussion with anybody because they're, in a lot of ways, they're kind of, they'll eat anything. They'll consume anything. They're omnivores. They'll literally work with anybody if it means increasing their brand because they're not loyal to you. They're loyal to the largest subset of audience that will continue to watch their material. It's a hazard of working in that profession. And when you sell sincerity and a message, you're going to end up contradicting yourself if that comes into conflict with the idea that you need to go wherever the next biggest set of views are. In this case, it's with her.
Overall, I'm not surprised by any of this. And I think it's kind of funny to watch Andrew Tate's fans having a meltdown over it because clearly they hadn't done an ounce of research into Andrew Tate to think that he's some kind of moral paragon and he has values that would prevent him from doing something for fame and attention like this. It's just it's embarrassing for them.
The level of nihilism that you see in interviews like that, I caution against consuming large amounts of it, even if it's coming in the form of intellectualism and trying to push back against it, because it will have an effect on your mindset over a long period of time. At least it does to me. When I consume too much nihilistic media over too long of a period of time, it affects my state of mind, and it's not good for anybody.
Definitely has an effect on me to watch entertainment that is has a nihilistic message, a movie or a TV show that has a nihilistic message, which is most of them on offer now.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.